Discuss the salient features of the Chola administration. The Cholas had three major administrative divisions called central government, provincial government, and local government. Tanjore was the capital of the Cholas. The efficient Chola administrative system has been well appreciated by many historians and rulers. The king was the head of the administration. The Chola kings and queens were considered as representatives of God. Their idols were kept in temples. The Chola kingship was hereditary. The Chola royal family followed the principle that eldest son should succeed the king to the Chola throne. The heir apparent was called Yuvaraja. The Chola monarchs enjoyed enormous powers and privileges. The Chola kings took up titles which marked their achievements. They lived in very big royal palaces. Kings were assisted by ministers and officials in their administration. Chola kings had Tigers. The central government was under the headship of the king. Council of ministers and officials took active part in running the administration of central government. The higher officials were called Peruntaram and the lower officials were called Siruntaram. The Chola Empire was divided into 9 provinces. They were also called Mandalams. The head of the province was called Viceroy. Close relatives of kings were appointed as viceroys. The viceroys were in constant touch with the central government. Viceroys received orders from the king. They sent regular reply to the king. The viceroys had a large number of officials to assist them in the success of the Chola administration depended more on the proper functioning of the administrative divisions. Generally, mandalams were named after the original names or the titles of the Chola kings. Each mandalam was divided into number of kotams or valanadus. Each kotam was subdivided into nadu. Each nadu was further divided into uvas, villages which form part of the last unit of the administration. Uttaramerur inscriptions speak about the administration of the Cholas. The land revenue was the main source of income of the Chola government. Proper land survey was made. Lands were classified as taxable land and non-taxable land. There were many grades in the taxable lands. Land revenue differed according to these grades. Generally, 1/6 of the land yield was collected as tax either in cash or in kind or both according to the convenience of the farmers. Besides land revenue, there were some other sources of income like customs and tolls. Taxes on mines, ports, forests and salt pans were collected. Professional tax and house tax were also collected. Many other taxes were levied. Tax burden was more on the society. Sometimes due to failure of rain and famine people could not pay tax. The Cholas had an efficient army and navy. The Chola army consisted of elephant, cavalry and infantry. Soldiers were given proper training. Commanders enjoyed the ranks of Nayaks and Senapatish. The army was divided into 70 regiments. The Chola army had 60,000 elephants. Very costly Arabian horses were imported to strengthen the cavalry. The Chola kings defeated the Cheras at Kandalur Salai. The kings of Ceylon and Maldives were also defeated. The Chola navy was a formidable one in South India. With the help of their navy, the Cholas controlled Coromandel and Malabar coasts. Bay of Bengal became the Chola Lake. The Chola army and navy together had 50,000 trained soldiers. The armies of the tributary chieftains also joined Chola army at needy times. Generally, the Chola king was the chief justice. The Chola kings gave enough care for the judicial administration. The village-level judicial administration was carried on by the village assembly. Minor disputes were heard by the village assembly. Disputes were settled with proper evidences. Punishments were awarded by the judicial officers. The trial of serious offences and major cases were conducted by the king himself. Every village was a self-governing unit. A number of villages constituted a larger entity known as a Kurram, Nadu or Kotaram, depending on the area. A number of Kurrams constituted a Valnadu. These structures underwent constant change and refinement throughout the Chola period. Justice was mostly a local matter in the Chola Empire. Minor disputes were settled at the village level. Punishment for minor crimes was in the form of fines or a direction for the offender to donate to some charitable endowment. Even crimes such as manslaughter or murder were punished with fines. Crimes of the state, such as treason, were heard and decided by the king himself. The typical punishment in these cases was either execution or the confiscation of property.